welcome to another episode of The Eventful Life. So, guys, happy holidays and Merry Christmas to you. I think I shared with you guys on our last episode or episode before that I had a very special guest who is going to be joining me. And I told you she is like my superhero, right? And so I'm really excited on this special edition today, guys, especially as we are celebrating Christmas and just all the things that come along with Christmas as far as being with family, friends, really being thankful for this time of the year and those who are special to us in our lives, having them close by. And so I have my mom here with me today. Hi, Mom.
Hi.
And so somehow I was able to get her to agree to do this with me. But I'm so thankful that she did because she absolutely is a lot of the reason of why I am who I am today. She is a fellow mompreneur. I will tell you that I had no idea that this is the path that I would be on. Had you told me, 15 years ago, I would have totally denied it. But it all makes sense because I come from a long line of female entrepreneurs. And so I was able to actually see my mom in her element when she was, running her business, which obviously, now fast forward, a lot of what I saw actually stuck with me and I was able to use in my own business. So, Mom,
Yes.
let's just start off talking a little bit about, how you got started in business. I know you and Nana, my Nana, because my kids call her Nana, you and Nana were very instrumental in the hair business.
Yes,
so how'd you guys get started?
My mom started off Barbara Ruffin and Art Dyson. They were the entrepreneurs or the eventful people who started black salons and major department stores. And I was at that time in college or getting ready to go to college when they started this and just getting ready to finish college. And to back up just a little bit, my mom has always been in hair. So her and Art were friends, and they decided to take their idea to a company called Seligman and Latz, and they jumped on it. And so they started doing black salons and major department stores, and I was just finishing up college at Spelman, and I decided to join them. I watched them grow this company where we had freestanding salons as well as salons and department stores, and then I became part of the administrative part of the team. As usual, as everything else, they had a little falling out, and so my mother went over to their competition, which was called Glenmere International, and started Black Hair Is, and then I became her second in command. So I've watched my mom grow that company, and matter of fact, she grew the company, and so that she was the first black woman or either black person at all to go and open up a black salon in a major department store in Africa.
Wow.
So she also got a commendation from Jimmy Carter when she did so. So she went to the White House. So I have seen my mom grow. My daughter has watched me grow within the company. I remember when we decided to leave Glenmere International, we decided to go back home, and we started
Where was home?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
And we decided to go back home, and we started what we call Black Hair Is. We had 2 salons and we had 2 salons and a school. And I remember we were doing our salons. They were freestanding. We were doing our salons, and that was about 6, 7, 10, somewhere in that area.
Yeah, I think I was about 6.
Yeah,
so like 7 or 8.
Yeah, going there.
Basically, I was tall enough to. They had a reception desk at the front, and I was tall enough to just see over that reception desk.
So we had her. We put her to work, and she would.
Are there child labor laws?
she would be asking people when they would come in, what services they wanted and who did they want to see, and then we would add up the money for your bill is $40. And there's a couple of my friends who remember this when they would come in and see Jonelle behind the desk. But that's how she got to be a part of seeing us grow as females within, and she was on the job too. So I think it has always been there, because even backtracking a little bit more, my great aunt, who I took care of, was also a beauty salon owner, and she used to own the May West Beauty Salon down on Auburn Avenue in Atlanta, Georgia. So it is a female business within our family.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So,
and I remember, you and Nana going in, and the hair salons back in that day, they were always busy on the weekends.
Very busy.
Right. And so I can remember, being up there with you guys, watching you tackle,
Matter of fact, we were the only ones at that time when we started. Especially, and we brought to Georgia where you could come in without an appointment and get your hair done. Just walk in and get your hair done. We didn't even make appointments at that time. So, and then we opened up on Sunday, which was something that nobody else was doing, was being open on Sunday from 12 to 6 o'clock. So we made a lot of strides during that time, opening up doors.
Yeah, and what were the years, like what was the time frame or the era in which this was happening?
Well, they started Glenby, they started Soul Sisters in, 1969, 1973. And then right after that, right when I finished Spell My Mama and I decided to start in Glenby. And that was like 1974, 75.
Right.
And
so
we were there.
Still a lot of during that time frame. And the reason I'm asking her this is because during that time frame, I feel like there was still a lot of cultural,
barriers,
racial things going on at that time. The climate was still very racial at that time. Is that right?
Yes, it was. Yeah. And to be able to, because we had women like, you're open on Sunday? I can't believe it. You're open till 9 o'clock during the week? I can't believe it. So we had a lot of things going on that women were looking for. Being able to go to a salon on Sunday without an appointment, just walk in, get your hair done, and get it done by professionals. And at that time, when Art and Barbara started out, they were blowing hair and so black women were running out with hair looking like white women, hair flowing through the air and all of that, and they were just ecstatic. So it was like that time of era when you were, moving into that culture shock happening,
which is amazing that you guys are at the forefront of that, and like I said, I can remember coming in, a little bit later on, coming in and just seeing them, doing this, and so many women, like my mom says, so many families and women, remember just how they were kind of blazing this trail or creating this path.
And one of the things that I remember so distinctly is that when Art and Barbara started with Soul Scissors, Barbara, my mother, was bald. So women were like, how can you tell me about hair and you don't have any?
I might have asked that question too. Like,
but once she was such a personality, and that people they used to just come and just sit, not even to get their hair done, just come and just to sit and talk with her while she was doing somebody else's hair on their lunch hour, and they went across country just like that. He was bald and she was bald, and they used to do hair shows like Bronner Brothers. And all
I
over.
remember going to the Bronner Brothers shows.
And people like the bald-headed lady who's doing hair, so. But she was quite a trailblazer, quite a trailblazer.
And so were you. You were, second in command. So you were more of the
operational person,
right? Of the two of you. So because Nana was kind of the person, the face, and you were operations.
She had the personality, and I was that backbone behind her. Right. And a lot of times we just it worked very well for us because I was that. I'm going to take care of that part. You take care of this part. And she was that personality person. I know we had a lot of models that used to work for us doing hair shots and hair shows. I know we went to Paris doing a show and won first place. So she was a trailblazer, and I was right behind her.
Yes, and I do remember, the latter parts where y'all were still doing, because I think by the time I was getting older, you guys weren't doing as much traveling, but there was still some traveling that was happening, kind of more interstates that would happen.
Happen inside the United States. We weren't going so much overseas anymore.
Right.
But
so how did that impact things? Like once you had me, because again, I think a lot of times as mompreneurs, once we have kids, we have to recalibrate how we do things now. So,
well, once we left Glenby and we started opening up our own salons, a lot of the time I would take on that personable role, that first in command, and Mom would go to the back and handle you. So it was like having that niche, and having somebody you could rely on to take care of your child the way you would take care of your child. I know a lot of times she would take you to your swim meets, take you to the swim lessons, dance, and all, and I'd be at the business handling business.
Right.
So it was good to have that you knew that you had your mom, just like I do with you,
right,
as far as the boys are concerned. To have that village to raise a child. One of the things I always thought was that you can always do, if you have your mindset and basically where with the Lord's help and your family, you can do the things that you want to do. And I never gave up. She never gave up. And she accomplished a lot of things. I have accomplished some things in my life, and switching careers altogether,
right,
and start teaching. So it has been a good life. Good life.
So, and I know from the child perspective, as the child, I always appreciated that you and Nana never hid anything from me. They were always very forthcoming and open about, even in business, about what they were trying to do or how this was going to better us as a family. Or even when things, would get challenging, they would share, when my grandmother got diagnosed with cancer, it kind of, everything had to kind of shift a bit, of course, so that we could care for her and make sure that she got what she needed. But even at that point, there was still conversations. We still were very open about
everything that was going on to make sure you were. Yeah. One of the things that I know is that being open with you and with going through that with my mom when she had cancer, and then once she passed, it was nobody but me and you at that time. And at that time, that's when I basically decided that I would come out of the hair industry and start teaching, because that in the beginning is where I was going before the hair thing started. Put a different path. So I started doing hair in a salon and started going back and getting recertified to teach. And then once you finished college, I decided that that's all I wanted to do, and so I came out of the hair industry altogether. But was
that difficult to make that transition into another career, and being that you no longer had Nana there to kind of be that support, that village or that support system anymore?
Yes, it was. It was difficult, but we worked it out. I was able to go pick you up and then bring you to the salon after, you get out of school, and sit you in the back somewhere and let you get your homework done. And until I had decided that I wanted to teach. Once I decided to teach, it wasn't so bad, because my hours were basically your hours, and then you were already out of school and going to college. So it was a little bit easier for me to do so. But that transition wasn't hard, because within the hair industry, I was teaching anyway. I was teaching young people how to do hair, how to handle money, how to handle business. And then to make that transition into teaching, I basically was dealing with young people, handling just a little bit different, their education, but also teaching them that, what do you want to do in life? This is what you're going to have to do these are the things you're going to have to achieve, and you need to start now. So it's been basically the same thing all around, and I like teaching, so this was just another avenue.
Well, we know you like teaching because obviously she actually just won Teacher of the Year award at her current school. So she is a wonderful teacher and has been one for me too. I mean, you've taught me so much, Mom, from understanding how to be a mom to my boys, to understanding, you know, how to be an entrepreneur and how to be a strong woman. I think a lot of times I actually am worried about not living up to your expectations.
Well,
because
I hope you don't ever.
I know how strong, you know, I know how strong you and Nana have been, being so instrumental as what that looks like, you know, like you said, how you can accomplish that. And so, you know, it's just me wanting to make sure that I am, you know, following in their footsteps.
But one of the joys I have is being able to see you. I thank the Lord that I'm still here able to see you become a mother, an entrepreneur, and watch you raise your boys. And I just thank God that all the things that I taught you, I see you doing with them, and it just makes me feel good that you took what I gave you and took it to another step. It took it to another level, and it just made. And I know my mom is smiling down, and she is so proud of you because you were her girl, and I know she is so proud of you. I know Barbara Ann is so very proud of you, just like I am. So I don't want to start crying.
No, I know.
It's tearing up here. But we have come a long way with each other. I thank God for letting me stay here long enough to see all of this happen within your life. To be able to have a strong husband who is God-filled, and your boys, and you guys doing things now and making plans to do great things, and I'm still here being able to see it, you know.
And does not look like she's going anywhere because she looks like she could be my sister. Okay, let's just be honest. Let's be clear. Okay.
So,
but thank you, Mom.
I do too. I love you.
I love you too. So, how do you, being a mompreneur? What are some of the lessons? Because I know you learned so many, you know, just through your experiences. What are some of the lessons that, you know, that are definitive for you or that really resonate with you at this point in your life?
The biggest one that I learned was when one door closed, you'll find another. Don't ever let anything stop you from doing what you want to do in life and what God has put forth that you should be doing in life, you know. I don't feel that you should ever give up on your dream. You know, if they're, like I said, if one door closed, find another. Like my mother used to tell me, she said, if one door's closed, you go through another one. If another one closed, you go through, find another one. She said, you just don't never stop.
That sounds like
you just don't never stop. Right. And that was the biggest thing that resonated with me as I was growing up and as I was raising you. And things got hard, but like I said, when one door closed, another one will open for you. And as long as you keep the Lord in your life, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Yes, yes. I love that. I love that. And I do believe, you know, I believe that so strongly too, that, you know, when one thing comes to an end, then something, you know, even greater is bound to happen.
Exactly.
So, you know, you just have to trust and, you know, and
believe.
And keep one foot in front of the other, you know.
That's right.
So, well, what's one piece of advice? I know we have some moms out there who are, you know, hoping that going into this new year that they will be able to find within themselves the courage or, you know that they already have what's inside of themselves to maybe start that business or get that business going again, or maybe just, you know, figuring out what that passion is for them. So what's one piece of advice you would give to to one of our moms out there?
Take time for yourself. Believe in yourself. Write it down. Because I know in the beginning, I used to write down everything.
Mm-hmm.
I used to take little pieces of paper and write down where I thought I was going, what I wanted to do by this time, or what I need to change, or whatever the case may be. But don't ever give up. That's my biggest thing. Don't ever give up. You can do this. Yeah. You can do this with everything that's going on in the world today. If you truly have a passion about what you want to do in life, you can do it. You can do it. Just believe in yourself. Just believe in yourself.
Yes.
And believe in God.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now you all see why she is my superhero because she just laid it out, for us all. And I get it, literally I get it from my mother. Okay, so it's not just a saying. I literally get it from her. Thank you, Mom, for doing this. Thank you for being with us today. I hope that you guys have a wonderful Christmas. Take time, spend time with your loved ones, like my mom said, and do something for yourself. Take time for yourself and just enjoy the spirit of giving and the spirit of life, yes, for the holidays. And of course, I will see you again on the next episode of The Eventful Life. Thank you guys. Merry Christmas.